What's going on, people? We are having an Iron Fist Season 2 discussion. I'm going to break this video up into a few segments. I will say this trailer, or for lack of a better word, teaser that they showed off to the public, really didn't give me much information outside of the fact that the most important information we have is the announced date, which is going to be September the 7th, 2018. So mark your calendars. That's 2 months away for Iron Fist Season 2. There's a lot more information they have about Iron Fist Season 2 when it comes to the closed doors footage that they showed off at San Diego Comic-Con for audiences only. I'm not sure if that's going to get leaked out later or what, but I do have an image from that I want to talk about that correlates to all that information, as well as showing you what is going on in this trailer. Now, there is going to be spoilers for some of the Netflix shows, so if you don't want to listen to spoilers, click off at this point. But when Iron Fist was in Luke Cage Season 2, they kind of remedied him a little bit. He's kind of cooler. He has a more distinct swagger to him. Him working with Luke Cage was one of the best episodes of Luke Cage Season 2, and that entire warehouse fight was a nice precursor to getting us up to speed with Luke Cage and Danny balancing out Luke Cage's anger in that show with a cool character. And I think they succeeded in making Iron Fist pretty likable compared to how he was in Season 1 of his own show and how he was in Defenders, where he's a brat whining about stuff and getting his ass kicked by Daredevil. This takes place well after Defenders. Now Danny Rand is defending the city after Matt Murdock's presence is now gone. He was buried under Midland Circle and presumed dead. So now Danny Rand is presuming the role of protector of New York. We're going to see how this goes, and I'm going to let you watch this trailer from here.
A war is brewing. This is my city now. It's my duty to protect it. Hey! And I'm not backing down.
Now, as you can see from all of that, the camera looks significantly better in fight sequences. It looks like Finn Jones is really giving more stunt work. You could tell it's really him. A lot of the previews also say that for Iron Fist, so we're going to continue on. And then the trailer just abruptly ends. So, like I said, there's not much to it here. Ooh, that clothesline though.
If you won't put this war to rest, then I'll find a way.
September the 7th. So like I said, mark your calendars. We're going to move on to the next segment, which describes the behind the closed doors footage at SDCC. Alright, it seems like we have a news compilation here. A lot of stuff people probably already knew, a lot of stuff people didn't know. I definitely didn't know until yesterday that Clayton Barber, the stunt choreographer and fight coordinator behind Black Panther, is the coordinator and choreographer behind Iron Fist Season 2, and Raven Messenger, that was old news. He is the new showrunner over Scott Buck. The problem that Iron Fist Season 1 had was the lack of fights, and the fights that were there being completely uninteresting aside a few of them, like Daniel Rand in the courtyard in the jail, for example. That was a great fight. But everything else, especially the fight that took 57 cuts just to get done, that was pretty disappointing. It's good to hear that Clayton Barber is behind the mantle. I would say that Black Panther's fights were not really too bad. there's that final fight of the rubber band CGI men that really didn't do too well. However, there also is the practical fights that were done really well, like Okoye in the weird sort of Hong Kong club that they were in. I thought that was done well, and I also thought that the Killmonger versus Black Panther fight that was done practically when he was trying to get the mantle from Black Panther was done pretty well. Next, we move on to a clip of Danny in a green hoodie and yellow bandana over his mouth, signifying that they are taking back some classic elements from the costume and implementing it somewhere. He punches the front of an armored truck clean off, engaging in combat. It's labeled as Daredevil style combat. That is a huge bar of expectations to live up to, considering how Daredevil season 1 and 2 had completely nice and clean fight sequences that really were strung together nicely. If this holds any grain of salt, that means that Iron Fist season 2 will have some spectacular fights going on in the background. I already knew about Finn Jones doing his own stunts and fights, considering that I think Finn Jones took up a martial arts class recently. He's been getting a lot more involved in the physical combat when it came to Defenders. This is a no-brainer when it comes to news. The next thing they have is some of the season will take place in Kunlun. I assume there will be flashbacks. That's a given. Raven Messenger apparently likes the source material, so he's going back to Kunlun in flashback sequences. Maybe we will get more information about characters that were like, you know, Danny's parents, the people associated with Kunlun, because Kunlun has like a lot of people who own certain sections of it and they have certain protectors. So that's going to be interesting. Maybe that will lead to a season 3 tournament, because that was in the comics, fighting for supremacy of Kunlun. That will be the big turnout if that turns out to be true, and I think that's where they could go next. They finally revealed who Alice Eve will be playing in Iron Fist Season 2. She was labeled under as a mysterious character. She's playing Typhoid Mary, Bloody Mary. She has many names, but she is definitely a character from the comics. She is an assassin for certain syndicates, and she has psionic powers. She is known for being a former lover of Matt Murdock. It makes me wonder, will they factor this storyline into a crossover once we hit Daredevil season 3, and there might be some romantic quarrel there between her and Elektra? Who knows? Steel Serpent, he is confirmed to be in the show. That's a no-brainer. That's who Davos is. But in the footage that they show at the behind the scenes SDCC footage, he's fighting a triad leader and he has the Iron Fist. I assume it's purple. Davos is able to steal people's chi in the comics. I wonder if that happens to Danny sometime in the season, and that'll be, he'll have his whole I'm sitting things out episode, Claire, heal me please, you know, that might happen to him. He might have his chi stolen by Davos in this season, and then Davos becomes the leader of the Triad drug organization with Madame Gao. The last piece of news that we have to touch on is what they explained with the flashback scene. Danny and Davos is apparently sparring, and Danny eventually wins, I believe. He gets to face Shao Lao the Undying. What's important, however, is this. Davos and Danny are wearing 2 original Iron Fist clad masks while fighting in white gi. I love this. They are throwing back so many references to the comics that should have been in Iron Fist season 1, but it really didn't catch on. A lot of boardroom meetings. I'm glad that they are finally breaking the mold and going into things that focuses on more of the mystical aspects of Iron Fist. We have to see the entire season to see how this unfolds, but apparently if this does have Daredevil level fights and many references to the comics, then this might be one of the best seasons ever for Iron Fist. This might be the actual redemption arc. Coming back from something that was completely ass. Anyway, this is Renegade Operative. I'm covering San Diego Comic-Con slowly but surely. I'm going to be talking about it in a podcast as well after the news is covered up. So look forward to that. I will see you guys next time. Later.